Hello guys, welcome back to Car Obsession and once more to Bella, my Fiat Seicento Sporting. You join me with a TA Technics box, and for my regular viewers you'll see that this is a rather familiar sight, and you also are wondering why I've got another TA Technics box in front of me. Well, I noticed a knocking noise coming from the near side front, which I believe was the top mount, and when I replaced the near side front, I thought I may as well do the offside front and replace them as a pair. Things are going pretty well. I didn't film it, but things are going pretty well. I went to replace the top mount on the offside front, which at that point wasn't knocking or really giving any causes for concern. And me being an absolute weapon, I may have cross-threaded the brand new coilover on the offside front. So yeah, today we are replacing that. I'm also replacing the rear bump stops, which I tried to do at the same time, and one of the bolts on the rear snapped on me. So that was a really fun day. Anyway, without further ado, let's get Bella up in the air and yeah, fix my mistakes. Technology is great nowadays. Who knew that you can get a Bluetooth shock absorber? Yeah, obviously that isn't factory standard, so that's one of the things we'll be rectifying today. In fact, let me show you my problem. So that is the end of the bolt, and out of focus, apologies. That's the end of the bolt, and there should be a bolt going through there and going through that shock absorber, but no, it left the chat. So yeah, here we are. So yeah, thanks Fiat, I love you. It's kind of comical, just look. Yeah, that obviously isn't right.
Whilst waiting for an actual professional to cut out what was left of the old bolt, I removed the offside rear spring, which as you would expect was pretty easy. Big thanks to Phil for cutting out the little troublemaker.
So this is the bolt from the bottom of the near side rear shock absorber. I used a ratchet this time. I didn't go on it with an impact gun or power tools. I did it by hand just to be safe. So yeah, I now need to try and match that up with something in this box. So, because that's the right kind of length. But I need to use something that's high tensile. Oh, that's the old washers. Right. So as you can see, I've got various bolts in front of me. So it's all about, obviously that's never going to be right. So we discount that. See, that is kind of right, but that's just too long. So I think we're on to a winner. This box of bolts didn't have the answer, but believe it or not, we have an even bigger box of bolts. Let me just bring you over here. I mean, that is, I was going to say organised chaos, but it's not organised chaos. Yeah, it's just so many bolts in one place. But who cares, because this, I think, has come up trumps. So yeah. Oh. Just attacked the tripod. So I think I have the answer. It has got this somewhat massive washer on it. Oh, it has got this massive plate washer on it, which actually doesn't come off. I could cut it off, but I might just fit it as it is. I don't know. It's going to look a bit ugly, but sometimes needs must. Right, onwards.
With a seemingly suitable bolt found, I set to work to remove the near side rear spring, ready to remove the old knackered bump stops. Seeing as access to the offside rear bump stop was better because, well, it wasn't really there anymore, that's the one I started with. The bolt for the rear bump stop is a 13mm, and the bolt was surprisingly easy to get out. That makes a nice change on Bella, I won't lie. Once what remained of the old bump stop was removed, I used a wire brush to help tidy up the mating surface, ready for the new bump stop. Note the base of the bump stop has a little plastic tab on it which coincides with a little hole on the chassis. I couldn't find a torque setting for the bolt on Google or in the Haynes manual, so I just made sure to nip it up tight. With the new bump stop installed, it was time to refit the spring, taking care to make sure it was seated properly.
So guys and girls, let's have a little bit of show and tell, shall we? So these are, well, this is what is left of the old bump stop. So that was on the offside rear, and well, there's no material left on that. It's just literally a plastic cup. Hopefully you can see that, there we go. Just a plastic cup. That's not going to be stopping any bumps. And this is the near, no, hang on a minute. Yes, yeah, this is the near side rear. So it has got material left on it. So just try and get it in focus. Yeah, it has got some material left on it. It's very crusty. And when I took it off, it just fell apart in my hands. So that's what a bad bump stop looks like. This is what a good bump stop should look like. There we go, look, it's got loads of material on it. It's actually got some absorption to it, some give. And yeah, just get it in focus. There we go. That's what a good bump stop should look like. That's Febby, hashtag no ad. Although Febby, if you're watching and you're bored of sponsoring Auto Alex, give me a shout. My channel is almost as successful.
After refitting the springs, it was of course time to refit the shock absorbers, making sure to tighten the bolts to 49 Nm, or if you prefer, 36 pound-feet.
So guys, rear bump stops are now in, everything's all been tightened down, and this time there's been no incident, so that can only be a good thing. So yes, now at a point where I can chuck the rear wheels back on and focus my efforts onto the front suspension, then we should be home and dry.
Again, to avoid any bolts potentially shearing, I removed the bolts for the offside front coilover by hand, which is probably an overly cautious measure, but better to be safe than sorry. With the new undamaged coilover unboxed, I took care to match the ride height to the old one to ensure that it would be the same once fitted.
Okay, so this time I've done it all by hand to avoid any more damages. So this is of course the new coilover with the top mount on there. So if I take you off my tripod, hopefully you'll see what I mean regarding the thread. So that's the old thread, and I'd say there downwards is fine, but as you can see, the top of it is in a bad way. One of the technicians did try a thread tracer to re-thread it, but it just wasn't sufficient, and I just wouldn't go onto it. So that's now ready to be fitted to the vehicle, and then not too far from being done.
New top mount installed, time to fit the new coilover onto Bella. The bolts that secure the coilover to the hub are torqued to 108 Nm, or that's 78 pound-feet. The nuts at the top have a torque setting of 25 Nm, or 18 pound-feet.
So guys, all done, and I would say it has been mission accomplished. There haven't been any mishaps today or any incidents. Everything's gone pretty smoothly. Now the whole reason why I was replacing the top mounts to begin with was I was getting a knocking noise from the near side front. I've done a short road test and there still appears to be some kind of noise there, so I'll have to keep an eye on that, but either way it did no harm to replace the top mounts apart from me destroying one of the front coilovers. But Well, we'll look past that, shall we? Anyway, I've got a busy day ahead of me because after this, I'm replacing the tyres on Leo, my Land Cooper, which I won't film because it's going to be quite boring, and I'm going to be regassing the aircon on Monique, my MX-5 again. Won't be filmed because it's going to be quite boring. So yeah, a busy day ahead of me. This took a little bit longer than I would have liked, but it is what it is. Anyway, time for me to wrap up. If you have enjoyed this video or found it useful and helpful, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. If you are subscribed, don't forget to click the bell icon so you get notified every time I make a video. But until the next time, guys, be sure to keep up the car obsession.